Hey everyone, guess what? There's 9 blocks done. We have one more to finish off row 1. Let's do that today. Hi everyone, Cristin here, and we are continuing with our We Whisk You a Merry Christmas quilt. So we have 9 blocks done now. Wow, we are doing so great. And don't you love how a bunch of people personalize their rolling pins? I love that. That made me so happy. I'm loving seeing what you come up with. All right, so 9 blocks done so far. There's actually only one more block for this entire first row. The whole row, the first row will be all done once we get this last block done. So couple things. Don't forget there's going to be a break. I'm hoping to get this one block done before our break, but I'm not absolutely certain that it'll happen, but that's my hope. So there is a break coming. It will be a minimum of 10 days, absolute minimum of 10 days. And so you have plenty of time to catch up. We've been doing the last 9 as quick as I can possibly do them. And you guys have actually been keeping up, which is a little bit killing me. But I'm excited that we're having fun with this one. So another thing is subscribe to this channel. Make sure to subscribe. There is when you hit the subscribe button, there's a little bell, and you click that bell to be able to receive notifications. You can do it on your cell phone or on the computer. I saw on both ways that you can click the bell to receive notifications. All right. And make sure to comment if you're liking the content. Make sure to hit that like button. That helps the channel. And I want to tell you, so we've had a few donations during this project. And so we're going to complete the project, and at the end of the project, my plan is to try and make some little something or other that is a special little freebie for those that have made a donation during this entire project. And so I will reach out to each of you that has made a donation, but you have to give me your email address. Include it in your donation. There's where you can write down stuff. Make sure to add your email address so that I can reach out to you. So there was most of the people that make a donation are also in our Cristin Creates group on Facebook, and so I can find you and hunt you down a little bit to get the information that I need to be able to send you this freebie, but some of them are not. So just make sure that you send me an email or send me a note with your email address on that donation that you're doing. So I want to publicly thank Judy. I don't know how to pronounce your last name. Guillot. Thank you so much for your donation. I don't have a way of contacting you. I did try and send a message through PayPal. So if you see that, please respond. But again, send me your email address. I want to be able to send you this little freebie. I also need to know the format that your embroidery machine uses. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about what we're going to do today. Like I said, we're going to work on the last block for the first row, and that is the cupcake stand. So grab your my little note here. Grab your little cupcake stand packet if you made the packets, and grab everything out of there. There's not too much in there. I have more because I've got the substitutions to tell you about. So the cupcake stand is on page 11 of our book. I've got quite a few notes on here. Oh, that's for a later one. All right, let's go ahead and talk about what we need today. So I'm going to put this here so it's out of my way. So our first thing is always our main fabric. So our main fabric is this light gray with darker gray lines all over it. All right. And this one, we're going to start with this. It's a big piece at 8.5 by 8.5. I do recommend always for your main fabric, I always recommend stabilizing this. This one, if you can, I would do that little indentation where you cut your stabilizer just a little bit smaller. Sorry, I'm getting messages, so that you can tell the front from the back. All right, so I do recommend it on this one. It's a little harder to tell. Someone mentioned in a YouTube comment and said that they have a black light, a little light. It's like a flashlight size, and it's a black light, and you can put it on your fabric, and it helps you to see the front from the back easier. So that's a tip that I haven't tried it yet, but a couple of our YouTubers commented with that. So that is helpful information. I appreciate that. So again, main fabric, 8.5 by 8.5 stabilized. Make sure to stabilize this with fusible backing. All right, and then the next one is for the stand. So this is the original fabric. I have the original one. And you can see it as directional lines. All right, the lines are going, what is it, vertically, sorry, horizontally this way, vertically this way. It is vertical lines. So we're going to start with this at 6 by 4, and you can choose to back it with fusible stabilizer or not on the applique pieces. I like to, but it's not necessary. It's totally optional. All right, you do you. You know, I like to say that, you do you. All right, so 6 by 4, and like I said, this is the original fabric. It is a directional fabric. Our sponsor, Your Best Friend's Quilt Shop, they provided this as the replacement for the stripes. It's a easier swirl, all right, a green with green swirl on it. So if you purchased a fabric kit from our sponsor, you likely received this one, the green with green swirls, and it's not directional, so you don't have to worry about that aspect of it. All right, either one, either fabric, 6 by 4 for the cupcake stand. All right, and then the next one is the cupcake liner. So the cupcake liner, the original one, is this red orange peel lattice. I'm not sure what it's called, but it is the red, and we're gonna have this 3 by 2 cupcake liner, 3 by 2. I backed mine with fusible stabilizer. That's up to you. 3 by 2. This is the original. I don't know if this has been discontinued or if they just didn't have it, but she gave this, our sponsor, Your Best Friend's Quilt Shop, gave this as a substitute, which is really nice for a liner, for a cupcake liner. I really like that one. That's a nice one. This is directional on the arrows, so you choose how you want yours to be, but 3 by 2, whether it's the original fabric or the substituted fabric, either one, for the cupcake liner, 3 by 2. All right, and then the next one is the cake. Oh, there it is. Phew, thought I lost it. It's a little piece. So the cupcake, the cake part of the cupcake. So this one is, let's see if I can show you. It's the white lattice, if you can see that. It's hard to see. I did back mine with fusible stabilizer. Again, that helps to be able to tell the front from the back. But this one, it's just the white on white with the lattice design. And this one we want to be 3 by 1.5, 3 by 1.5. So this is actually going to be, it'll be on that gray fabric, so you don't have to worry too much about the color coming through. I was thinking if it's on the red, that would be a problem, but it's not. So 3 by 1.5 for this one. This is for the cake part, all right? And then the next part is from our embellishment kit. That is the polka dotted vinyl. Polka dot applique glitter vinyl. So this one, we are going to have a piece that is 2.5 by 2.5. Mine's bigger than that. This must be just what came in the embellishment kit, and I didn't cut it down yet. So 2.5 by 2.5, just like I've mentioned lots of times on the glitter, or vinyl, whenever you use the Kimberbell vinyl, make sure that you take off that plastic topping before you lay down your applique piece. Super important. All right, so this one again is 2.5 by 2.5. Make sure to take off the topping. It is the applique glitter vinyl, but there's an option if you didn't get the embellishment kit, and I already cut mine for some reason. I must have not realized that it's a substitution, but this one is for if you didn't get the embellishment kit, then you could use this as your frosting. So this applique glitter is for the frosting. So you can use this one. It's 2.5 by 2.5, whether you use the vinyl or the fabric, either one is fine. All right, and then we have the clear vinyl. So hopefully you were smart and you kept it in the embellishment kit. It came in this little packet. I don't know if the ones from our sponsor did, but I would assume it's like in a baggie or something, but these can get lost. So that's what I was going to point out, is just be careful. I kept it in the little packet so that I don't actually lose it until I'm going to use it. So the clear vinyl, that's not what it looks like. It's the packet is all messy looking. Sorry, this is going to be loud. Hold on. Okay. So the clear vinyl, there we go. All right, so that's what it looks like. Look at, you can't even see it really, right? It's kind of cool. It's like an invisibility cloak. All right, so on the clear vinyl, this is for the glass dome. So a couple of things, and I'll tell you, I'll try to remind you later as we work on it, but you're gonna wanna make sure that everything is out of that dome before you put this down. Like any loose threads, that's the biggest thing. Loose threads can get in there and then you're out of luck. All right, so just be careful when you place this down. Check to make sure that you're ready to actually place it down. All right, and one thing is that there is a peppermint button that normally would be an embellishment, but this one we're going to put under this dome, under this plastic vinyl piece. And so you're going to make sure to do that beforehand. And I'll tell you, we're going to go step by step. You don't have to worry. But again, the clear vinyl is 4 by 5.5. Did I mention that? Sorry. 4 by 5.5. And it came in our embellishment kit, the clear vinyl. All right. And then the only other thing for the project, or for part of it, because we still have batting too, but so the peppermint piece, little button. All right, so there were a few of them in our button kit, and I took one out and I put the rest in my embellishment pack, but I wanted to make sure to not forget that we need this one for our block today, for the cupcake stand block. So I did put it in a baggie so it doesn't get lost. I recommend, it's just a teeny tiny, you can see it's like not even the size of my fingernail. All right, so one peppermint button for now, the other ones will be for later, so don't forget that. All right, and then for our batting, so our batting, let's see, trim vinyl, we're going to have machine stab. It's not special cut instructions. I was curious about that. All right, so our batting today is going to be 7 by 7. Make sure to get your batting. We're going to quilt in the hoop. So whenever we quilt in the hoop, we always use our batting. So 7 by 7 for our batting today. All right, and then the last bit is the quilting. So we are going to quilt this in the hoop. You can use any quilting design that is 6 by 6. All right, any quilting design that is 6 by 6. I have chosen, where'd my little packet go? There it is. I'm going to put my fabrics away before I lose them. I have chosen Celebration 1 for this one. I think that will be really fun. But again, you can use any quilting design that is 6 by 6. Celebration 1 is the banner, like a birthday banner. So I thought that would be really fun for this cupcake stand. So that's the one I'm going to use in a 6 by 6, Cupcake 1 in a 6 by 6 quilting design. And like I said, you can use any quilting design that is 6 by 6. Think about something that would be cute on this block, the cupcake stand. All right, and that's all we need to know today. I think we're ready, so let's go ahead and get started.
Hey everyone, so I was just about to start embroidering my cupcake stand block, and I realized that some people might want to take out the quilting behind the dome part of the block. Totally optional, didn't matter to me in all honesty, but I remember during, the Valentine quilt, that people wanted the jar of hearts. They didn't want the quilting to show in the jar. So I thought it might be an issue, so I figured, well, I'll quickly show you how to do that if it's something that you want to do. So I'm going to open up Embrilliance Essentials. Let's see here. I think I will move it over and I'll just drag the things in. You can either drag the designs in, or you can do this merge stitch file. I guess I'll just do that merge stitch file, and I'll move this out of the way of my head. All right, so go to merge stitch file. I'll first start with the, I'm going to close this. Start with the hoop size. So I'm on my 8 by 8 hoop. That's actually the hoop I want. If it's not the hoop size that you want, you could do this in a, let me think, it's a 6 by 6 quilting design. So a 6 by 10 wouldn't work unless you take out steps 3 and 4. You can do a 7 by 12, an 8 by 12, 8 by 8 hoop. Also, if you're using a 5 by 7 hoop, your quilting design, you would need to do a 4 by 6 quilting design and a 2 by 6 quilting design for that to be able to fit in a 5 by 7 hoop. All right, so I'm gonna again, I'm on my 8 by 8 hoop. If you're not on the hoop size you want, go up here to the preferences folder, click on the hoop size you want, say okay, and then click on this compass button and H to zoom into the hoop. All right, and then go to merge stitch file, and I'm going to find the quilting design first. So We Whisk You a Merry Christmas, quilting files, and I'm using the Celebration 1 quilting design. I want to show you something real quick here. So embroidery files, Pez is what I use for my machine. And we want a 6 by 6 quilting design, but I want to point out that there is a horizontal version and a vertical version. So depending on what way your block is going to be, you'll want to determine, since I'm using my 8x8 hoop, mine will be straight, so I'm going to use this vertical one. If your block is going to be sideways, you would want the horizontal version. All right, so I'm going to use this Celebration 1 vertical in a 6x6, double click on that, it goes to the center, and then I'm going to bring in the embroidery design. So merge stitch file, and it's asking, where is this design that you want me to open? I'm going to close up the quilting files, go to the embroidery files, Paz, Quilt, and then we're looking for the cupcake stand. All right, let's see here. Cupcake stand. The designs are just populating. There it is right there. Cupcake stand, double click on that, it will go to the center. So I was thinking we don't need any embroidery software learning on this one because we're just going to bring in the quilting design, bring in the embroidery design. There's no adding of extra blocks or color sort or aligning that. None of that is needed. And you can absolutely do it just like this and be perfectly fine. But if you want to take out the quilting that is under the dome, that's totally optional, completely optional. So I'm just going to show you how to do it. I think it'll be somewhat simple because when I zoom in, the only part that is in, you can see that the little tips here will be underneath the satin stitching, so none of that's going to matter. This will be under an applique, so that's not going to matter. It's just this one line here with the banners. So I'm going to just show you real quick how to do that. I haven't done it for a while, so bear with me here. So let's see. The quilting design runs first and then the embroidery design. It's the quilting design that we want to change. It's the fifth part of the quilting design. So if I go up here, see this little like a needle with a thread through it? It says Stitch Simulator. If I click on that, now here's all the different parts of that design, all right? So I'm just going to move this bar here. There's this little rectangle bar, and if I bring this, you can see this is the placement and the tack down, placement, tack down, and here's our quilting design. So I'm just going to move this over. I think I have to be zoomed out maybe. Let's see. Oh, so you know what? It's not going to show us. Let me think here. So I want to be able to see this part, and it's not showing it. I know what I can do. I'm going to click stop for the simulator, and I'm going to zoom out. I am going to click on this cupcake stand, and actually I'm going to open up the part, the design, and I'm going to find the part that is just the dome. Let's see here. It's going to be down here. There's the cupcake. Down further, there's the dome. All right, so that's what I want, is this dome. All right, so what I'm going to do, this is a little bit different, but I'm just thinking because I want to be able to see what part I need to delete, and I can't because the quilting design is before the embroidery design. So I'm just going to take this one part, and I'm going to say Control C, and then let's see, if I take it out of two, if I hit Control V, it'll go at the bottom right there. All right, so see what all I've done is I've added that one. It's the placement stitch for the dome, and I just need to be able to see it. So I'm going to take this, I added it in, I hit Control C to copy and then Control V like victory to paste it, and it came down at the bottom. Now I'm going to right click on it and I'm going to say move first. I want it above the quilting design just so that it shows me. All right, does that make sense? So now I'm going to go back to this Stitch Simulator. All right, and now when I do that, did I click on it? Stitch Simulator, there we go. It's this little needle with the thread through it. So now see, here is our placement for the dome, and then it'll go, and here is the part that we want to make a little change, but we should be able to see that dome still. So if I just, yeah, see, this makes it so much easier. I hope that helped out. So here's the part. So see how it's doing? It's just showing us, I'm moving that little rectangle box around to be able to see. And what I want to do is I want to bring it back to right before it starts at the dome, right there. All right, and it doesn't have to be exact because I'll show you we can go forward or go backward. So where did it go? What happened? All right, well, that's weird. Oh, I must have clicked outside of the box or something, sorry. All right, so anyway, I'm going to just go back here. So it's right there. When I zoomed in, it showed me the whole thing. That's what happened. So when you zoom in, it takes you through the whole thing. So I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to go back to here, move this around so it gets back to there. Sorry about that. All right. And then from there, that actually looks like a good stopping point, but let's just check it. So there's these single stitches. So this one you want to move around to pretty close to where you want it to be, and then you can use the single step to go forward or backward. So see, if I go forward, you can see it starting into the dome. So I want to go back to right before it starts in the dome, basically right there, because don't forget there's going to be that satin stitch, so we don't have to worry about it too much being exact. But you can see right here that it's about to go into the dome. So if I hit stop, it's going to bring up a thread selection, and I can change from that quilting color to a new color so that I can take out parts. I'll show you what that means. So right now we're on Sprout, all right? And so we want to make sure to use a different color. In fact, I'm going to pick a color that's going to stand out a little bit more. Maybe like this steel blue, doesn't matter. Say okay. All right, and then see how the rest of the quilting design is now in that steel blue. So here's the steel blue. So if I go back to there, I just want to stop it again when I get to about here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to stay on my stitch simulator. I'm going to bring that rectangle over back to the gray part. And then right when we get to that dome, I'm going to go out of it a little bit more just so that you can see how to advance step by step. Okay, I'm going to do it from there. All right, just so you know, it doesn't have to be exact so that you can go step by step. So I'm just going to go step by step, all right, until I get to the dome again. Now that's a little too far, and again, it's not going to matter. It doesn't have to be exact because of that satin stitch, but I can see that I'm over just a little bit too much, so I'm going to go back one step, and I'm going to say stop, and then again, I'm going to choose another color. I think I'll use Sprout again. I'm going to go ahead and click Sprout in the search bar. And see if that makes it so that it will continue on. I'm going to say okay. All right, so see I have Sprout quilting, and then I have that gray steel blue, I think it was, of the quilting, and then continued with the gray. So now if I open up the number 2 design right here, sorry I had to think about which one it is because we've got that extra step up here, which isn't going to matter. I'm going to delete it in a moment. All right, so you can see we've got the regular steps of the quilting, but for the actual quilting part, there's the first part of our quilting, and then there's the part that I'm going to delete, and then there's the part that's going to continue. So since we changed the color, it's super easy to click on that and click delete on our keyboard, and look at, now there's no stitching in the dome. How easy was that? And again, this is completely optional for those of you that would prefer not to have quilting behind the dome or inside of the dome. Either way is totally fine. And you can also take out this first one that we don't need. That was just so that we could see where our quilting needs to come out. So I'm going to click delete on that as well. And now I have my quilting design with this open dome, and I've got my cupcake stand, and it's all ready. So I'm going to hit File, Save Stitch File As, and I'm going to save it in my quilt. This is an 8x8 is the hoop I'm using, cupcake stand. I could say cupcake stand dome empty. You don't want it to be too long. Maybe I'll just say dome empty. I'm going to do that. And so 8x8 dome empty. Just so I know, whatever you name it, whatever you want, that's going to help you to know what you're looking for and where it is and all of that. I'm going to say save, and then I'm going to say utility, send to Solaris XP1, and send it to my machine, and file send to machine. Easy. How cool is that? How cute with this banner. I think that is just such a fun one. We're not going to see a whole lot of it. We'll see all of this part up at the top, and then the 2 on each side, and then the 2 on the further side. So I think that'll be really cute. Any quilting design will be super cute on this block. And again, I just showed you how to get it out. If you've got a really busy design, it will take a little bit more work to get that dome empty if that's what you choose, but totally doable. All right, let's get stitching. Hey everyone, really quickly. So I wanted to point something out. So this part of the stitching right here, and also this part right here, I went ahead and I took out with my bobbin. So when you're deleting your stitches from that stitch simulator, you could take those out as well. It's totally up to you. or take them out with the bobbin or leave them in, it doesn't matter. But since we took out that line of banner, it kind of looks a little odd to me to have this line here and this one, especially the fact that it crosses over the banner. So totally optional, but I did end up taking those out with the bobbin stitches. So I just wanted to point that out, that while you're in your stitch simulator, you could just keep the deleting of those stitches going. You could start it a little bit earlier and end it a little bit later to get those out if you choose. Real quick, just want to let you know.
It's so funny. You would laugh at me. So every time I finish filming a video, I get like all excited that I'm done, and I get up and then I went, "Oh, I still have to tell you something about myself. Something to try and inspire." I'm hating this. I have to tell you. Hopefully I'll get a little more used to it as this continues on. But all right, so I'm just going to do a really quick one today. I broke my hand a bunch of years ago. So after my black belt test in Kenpo Karate, so for a black belt test in Kenpo Karate, and in different forms of different styles of karate, their testing is different. And for Kenpo Karate, you have to take a 3-hour written test. And you have to sit in moxo, sitting on your knees for a half an hour while all of the blood drains out of your legs. It's pretty much awful, let me tell you. And then you kind of roll out of it to let the blood come back into your legs. So you do that. There's several things. And then you do the actual black belt test, where you do the katas and the kicks and the throwdowns with a partner. You do a karate in the air on this little thin piece of wood. What else? Oh gosh, everybody like beats you up, and they come after you with these big things, and you're just blocking everybody while you try and get to the exit. What else? Lots of stuff. It's a big test. It's all day for sure, like a very, very, very long day test. They basically are trying to break you, and everybody does get broken during the test. For me, it was kind of funny. So I can kick really high. I have really long legs, so and they're good sized legs. So I'm a pretty good kicker. And we were doing. I had broken my leg actually not too long before this test, and had just had my thyroid taken out right before the test. Some big obstacles, and wasn't sure I was going to be able to participate, but made it work and practice because it's a big deal to take this test, as you can imagine. So anyway, so there's all these different kicks, like tons of different kicks. Oh my gosh. And one of them is this, what is it called? Like a side jumping flip kick. I don't remember what it's called. And I know them all in Japanese, by the way. I know all the names of the kicks, the punches, the numbers, everything in Japanese. We always did it in Japanese. But anyway, there's this one kick that I never got good at. You have to like flip your body around to do this turning kick, and it was awful. I could never do that. Or I could, but I was not good at it for sure. But anyway, so during the test, so there's a few senseis there and grading you and pushing you really hard. You have to break boards. You have to take the fire out of a candle without touching it, with doing a karate chop. You have to break boards with your legs by doing a back kick. There's all kinds of stuff, lots of stuff to this test. So anyway, I did the karate test, and so like I was going to tell you, so I can do a high kick. I'm good at a high kick. And one of our senseis, this one that flew in from Las Vegas, he's a very tall man, and he's going down the row of all of us that are testing, and he comes to me and he puts his hand, he could see where I'm kicking on every single one. And you're doing this forever, right? It's a very long test. So he sees where I'm kicking, and he just puts his hand up for me to kick his hand. And I did it over and over, and he kept raising it. And I kept doing it and did fine with that. And there was a part, something about you had to land on. Oh, he kicks you, and you can't block it. That's what I recall. You couldn't. So everybody had their different parts that were hard for them, right? Like everybody broke at one point, and I wasn't able. Your instinct is to protect yourself, right? So my instinct was always to block, like every time. I never did get it right. So it was kind of funny because he's like kicking at me, which was my bad leg that I had just had out of a cast recently, and I'm protecting my leg just out of instinct. And we did it over and over and over again, and I'm sure I failed that part of it, but you know, it is what it is. So anyway, interesting karate test for sure. Very interesting. Learned a lot through all of the process. I started it just for self-defense and ended up doing all the karate tournaments. And my son and I actually got the highest points, and whatever it was, I can't even remember it. I'm drawing a blank on what it's called, but the biggest honor and the biggest award, because we went to all of the karate tournaments for this one season. So anyway, learned a lot from all of this. But a few weeks after the black belt test, and your body's pretty broken down, and it's like you've done a really big event and you have to let your body heal. Well, and I did all the things, but I was asked to do a karate demonstration, and I go to this demonstration and we're punching through big wood planks. And I've done that for a long time. I've done a lot of them, and the karate test, I think you have to punch through 3 of them. It's pretty intense. And maybe it was 2 for women. I think it was 2 for women and 3 for men. I'm not absolutely sure. But I was prepared. I knew how to do it and all. Well, so at the karate demonstration, I did it, and the wood that was chosen had this big old knot in it. And I was like, oh, this is not going to be good, right? And it actually broke pretty close to all the bones in my hand. So I have this scar. You probably can't see it, but I have a scar that they had to like rebuild my hand. And so things to learn from that, right? There's always a purpose to these things, and don't break a piece of wood that's got a big old knot in it. Duh. There's that. Another mistake that I made that I learned from in this process is after I broke that board, my hand was like really swollen. And I waited 5 days before going to the doctor, because I thought, well, once the swelling comes down, then I'll know what I'm dealing with. It's probably fine. And that was a mistake. So they had to do a lot to be able to put my hand back together after that. A lot because of what happened, but also because of waiting 5 days. So I learned from that. Try and go to the doctor when you need to go to the doctor. Make the time for yourself. So anyway, short little story about karate, black belt test. Very, very, very intense. My son also is a black belt in Kenpo karate, and very, very proud of him for that. And we both learned a lot from it. So anyway, that's all for today. Lots to do today, so I'm going to go ahead and get started on our projects. And real quick, my shirt for today is "Don't let anyone dull your sparkle." Don't let anyone dull your sparkle. So this is a really fun design. I don't recall off the top of my head who it's from. Possibly designs by Juju, but I don't remember. I will add the information underneath this video. The shirt is from Fred Meyer a ton of years ago. I love this shirt. Did you see the sparkle on it? So I used gold metallic thread for the sparkle word, and then I have gold hot fix rhinestones on the shirt, and also glitter underneath, I think. Yeah, so it was metallic thread on the diamond in silver. So it's a fun sparkly shirt. I really like this one. I will add information under this video if you want to get the design.